What's up, guys? It's good to see you again. If you're wondering where I've been for the 5 people that care, wait, no, nobody gives a shit. So I'm not going to explain myself. Just know going forward that this channel is going to be focused a lot more on photo stuff as opposed to anything else I've ever done on here. So if you're not down for some photons, maybe it's time to get off this train. This brings me to a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time, and that is shitty ass film cameras. Well, I don't think it's any secret that analog photography has gotten more expensive over these past couple of years, but I'm here to tell you that finding crappy cameras could be the way to go. And I have an example for you. This right here, this is my Canon AE-1. It's the first film camera I ever bought, because of course it was. I bought it off the advice of literally everybody here on the internet. So why do I call this a shitty film camera? Well, it's no secret that the Canon AE-1 is actually a really good starter film camera itself, but my particular model here probably isn't the best. First of all, we got a cheap lens on here. It is the Takina 28mm. I tried to look up stuff about this lens online, but I can't really seem to find anything that points me in a direction of people thinking if it's good or bad. So I'm just going to roll with it for the time being. Also, if you look at my back viewfinder here, I don't know if you can see it, but my back viewfinder glass is actually broken off. I have to forcibly shove it back into place every time I try to use this damn camera. So what kind of images does this bad boy take for such a cheap ass camera? Well, I decided to take it out for a spin. I loaded up the family in the car and we were going to go have a nice fun day, whether they liked it or not. But before we can get down to business, I had to take my ungrateful dog Lola to the vet because everything has to be about her 24/7. After we took our dog Lola to the vet and they told us that she was going to live for the next 50 years, we decided to hit the road. And before we could really get started though, me and Miranda had to fuel up on some coffee at one of my favorite coffee places downtown. And I decided to shoot out some bangers before we really got down to it. So I would say overall this camera produces pretty good images. They're nothing to really write home about, but I think it works for the SLR body that it is. When it comes to 35mm photography, I like to take more candid shots of just colors and patterns and lights that I think are interesting, and this camera really gets the job done. I will say the Takina lens is kind of disappointing. When it's really stepped down to anywhere below f4, it seems to really have a lot of fall off in quality and sharpness. I don't know if anyone can tell me anything about that in the comments, but if you have experience with this lens, please let me know. You're probably wondering what kind of film I'm shooting in this bad boy. Well, that day I happened to have some Kodak Portra 400 loaded in the camera. I brought along some Ilford HP5 and a box of Ektar 100 as well, but I never really got around to shooting those things. You'll know here why in a second. Despite the viewfinder glass being really fucking annoying because it keeps falling over, I will say that the meter on this seems pretty accurate. There are times where I feel like my images are either under or overexposed slightly, but I can live with that. So this is actually the day where I found out that our dog is very bad when it comes to being on a leash around a bunch of people because all she wants is pats. So being able to frame shots and hold her leash at the same time, it was a lot of fun. So unfortunately while we were there, it decided to start pouring rain on us, and since my viewfinder glass is broken, I don't trust this camera out in the open, so I had to hide it for a few minutes while it literally pissed rain on us. Hi Lola. This is going to be slightly off topic for a second, but check out this cool ass handbag that I got for free from Arizona. Thank you, even though I don't even drink your green tea. So after walking around for a bit, we decided to stuff our faces with some greasy street food. My daughter decided to eat a whole big ass slice of cheese pizza by herself. That's probably why she hasn't been able to take a dump in 4 days. So out of this roll that I shot at this particular event, I did get a couple of keepers that I thought were pretty decent. I liked how the colors came out on this day. The only thing that sucked was that the lighting was slightly off because of the cloud coverage coming in and out. I will say that these are probably some of my favorite images. I'm not big into street photography or architecture photography, but I don't know. Maybe I can get used to it the more I do it. I did also take some pictures of just chilling in my backyard with the same camera just a few days prior on the same roll. And I'll say some of these images came out really good. These are some pictures of my son that I think are really good. And some of the lighting that I got as it headed towards sunset on the sides of these houses was some of my favorite lighting that I've seen for this whole year. I guess this is just my long-winded way of saying, don't feel like you need to break the bank on something. If you read in the eBay description that something is mechanically working and you feel like you could do with that, even if it's not in perfect condition, maybe you should just go ahead and try it. Like I said, this camera was not in the best condition when I got it, and I'm still able to take some pretty decent images with it. But I don't know. Do whatever you want, I guess.